Should I film myself? Oh, my battery is dying. Can you see me? Can you see my face? Hello. I debated for a while if I was gonna make a video about this, but I'm home alone right now, so I can do it. We're making a jacket, a long one, for winter. Let me show you what I did. First of all, this is the book that has the pattern. I'm using the one for this jacket right here. I used it before. This is what I've made. This is the lining. It doesn't look good. This is the lining for it. The fabric is some leftover I had from making my Love Life skirt, the Muse one. I had a bunch left over. It's pretty thick of a fabric also, so you know, convenient. Pretty much the same as the last time I made this jacket, except it's a bit shorter on the bottom edge, but that's not too different. I made the sleeves longer because on the raincoat the sleeves are a little too short when I bend my arm, so I made them like 10 centimeters longer because I also wanted to like extend out over my hand, but I haven't figured that out yet. I'll do that later. A little mistake happened though. The piece I had for the cutout for the collar, you know, because the collar needs to be on the fold normally, but I didn't have enough. The piece wasn't big enough, so I had to do it in 2 parts, and so there's a seam here that's not actually supposed to be there. But yeah, it's there. So that's that done. Can you see it? I don't know. Right now, as you can see, I am working on the outer layer, which is a gorgeous purple velvet. Let me show you in the light. There it is. The velvet I'm gonna make the thing out of. I bought it at like a fabric market, but I only bought 2 meters because I didn't know what I wanted to do with it at the time when I bought it. And there is a chance I don't have enough to do what I want to do. It's very scary indeed. But yeah, and I had a bit of a scare this morning because I started assembling the pieces that I had cut out 2 days ago because I didn't have a right color thread, so I had to go buy it. But I was like, wait, when I did the lining here, as you can see, the back piece is one big piece. And then at the bottom you make these little like seams here. Seams. I don't know how to explain this in terms. You make these like seams over here and over there. And then you have like extra room in the back for when you like bend your arms and shit. And I was like, if you did that for the lining, don't you have to do the same thing for the body? I didn't cut my pieces out to do that thing. I didn't cut out the back piece on the fold, so I can't do what? So I read through the instructions and I thought the instructions were like, yeah, you know, you dumb bitch, you had to do that. So I was kind of upset. But then my mom read through the instructions and turns out that actually, no, I was correct the first time around. You don't need to do this extra piece here. You don't need to cut it on the fold for like the, you know, the outside layer. It's just the lining that needs to be cut on the fold. It's confusing. Very confusing. Also, like, the fact that I was stressed out about cutting out of, you know, velvet, potentially not having enough, did not help. There we go. That's all I've done so far. I'm gonna continue assembling the pieces. I'll keep you updated. Not much. Okay, welcome back. It's been a few weeks since we last spoke. I spent one of those in pain. Let's start with the sleeves. So these are the sleeves. I had to cut one of them off grain. The thing about velvet, it has like a direction basically, and if you don't cut all your pieces in the same direction, then the way the light falls onto the velvet, it's gonna notice, you're gonna see, it's gonna look different. But if I cut both sleeves on grain, then I wouldn't have had enough for the bottom part, so one of them is gonna have to look a bit bizarre. But it's not too big a problem because I'm planning on making a sort of like fancy draped over sleeve that I haven't cut out yet. But that's also why I haven't attached the sleeves to the top part, because I want to sew them together at the same time. Then I need to do the bottom part. Well, first I finished assembling the top half of the main, you know, the velvet side of the jacket. But then I need to work on the bottom. So I want to use like basically the entirety of the velvet fabric that I had bought. And I had a big chunk left after cutting out the top and the sleeves. So for the bottom I was like, oh, I'll just rectangle it off, I guess, and use everything. And then but I found out that none of the edges were straight. Like the bottom edge, the cut edge wasn't straight, where I had cut previously also wasn't straight. But even like the salvage on either side wasn't straight either. So I did my best to have a rectangle that is somewhat rectangular. So the top part is folded over here, but like it's just like a rectangle basically. And I attached it to the top. I did some pleating. You can't see it now because I've already attached the lining. So for the lining, I originally wanted to use the same fabric as the top half half, which is here, but it really doesn't cover anything. So I was like, oh, I'll just fill in the gaps with this fancier looking purple fabric that I had left over, but it was gonna have a weird shape, and this one was long enough, more like large enough, I think. Like horizontally it had enough, like way enough, but vertically it didn't. It's too short. I can show you there. As you can see, there's like a big gap here between the edge where the white little dots are, and this is the raw edge. It's not even folded over. So what I'm gonna do is buy like a big fancy looking decorative ribbon that I'm gonna put in between to kind of make it look pretty and hide the fact that I didn't have enough fabric. I think it's better because that, like, if you're gonna see any of the lining, it's gonna be the bottom part, so it being like fancier looking, I think it's gonna make the jacket look nicer. Now I need to attach this to the other half of the lining, the top part of the lining, and then I need to work on the over sleeves so I can sew the sleeves to the jacket, and then we can decorate. And the over sleeves, I've already planned, I want to make them out of this fabric as well, and then I think I'm going to use the leftover I have from the lining over there as a lining for the over sleeves. I mean, this is kind of flimsy, which I think would look nice, but the back here is just white, so having it also be like a purple might look better. I'll see if that fabric over there isn't too heavy and doesn't just like make this one not flow as nicely. That's what I've done. I'll see you next update in like 5 months because I'm never home alone and I don't want to record when there's people. Okay, last time we spoke I talked about the over sleeves and they are done now. This is the over sleeve I made out of this fabric that I also use for the lining, and then I lined it like this with the other fabric I use also for the lining. And I didn't have enough to do the whole sleeve because it's like 80 centimeters long, and I didn't have that kind of length left in whatever I had left over of this fabric, so I had to do a seam right here at the bottom, add an extra piece. I did that on both sides, so you know, at least it's symmetrical. So there's that, and then you have the actual sleeve underneath, and I sewed it into the jacket coat. I guess it's a coat at this point. There we have basically the entire like outer coat assembled. So now I have to decorate it. I'm gonna do some decoration, and then I'm gonna put in the lining. For decoration, I was thinking first of all a belt that I've already prepared out of the same fabric as the sleeves to kind of, because now everything is velvet except for the oversleeve, so it looks kind of weird and out of place. So I'm hoping that with the belt it'll tie it a bit more together. I also have these two purple tools, dark one that I have left over from an old project, and some lighter like lilac one that I bought for a project that never ended up happening. And then I have a bunch of this like pinkish purpley like fluffy yarn, wool, whatever you want to call it, left over. I have like all of this. I think I have like 2 more, and I was thinking of using this as like a trimming maybe on the edge of the belt, definitely on the edges here. And then I was also thinking around like all the edges, basically all the way around the jacket, you know, bottom edge, side edge, at the collar as well over here. Might put it around the arms, the armholes, but I'm not sure. I'll have to see. So the belt and the thing here, trimming for sure. Those are things I want to do. Don't know what I want to use the tool for. I might just start with doing the decorations I know for a fact I want, and then see how that looks, because I might just be like already enough decorating. We'll see what we'll do with the rest. Oh, I remember something I wanted to mention. The sleeves. It took me so long to put those sleeves in. I have a problem. I love fancy sleeves. I hate pinning them into the armholes. I just hate that process. I think it was yesterday my mom was like, fuck it, I'll do it for you. I was sitting on it for like a week, probably even longer. But yeah, anyways, that's it. I'll start decorating, and I'll see you if I have time today, or maybe in like another month. Hello from the mirror. Jacket update. I did all the decorating. So I put the yarn around the sleeves, as well as like all around the, not all around, like around the collar and the bottom half of the jacket, as well as the armholes. I sewed the lining to the like fashion layer and added a zipper. At the front I also added, you know, the belt, decorated that one with the yarn. Then I had to go out and buy some like trimming. Basically I bought this like velvet trimming for the bottom because my lining wasn't long enough, so I did like 2 layers of that on top of each other, and it covered the hole perfectly fine. The reason I'm not showing you all of this is because it was not yesterday, the day before, the jacket was declared finished Even though there's like no closure for the belt, I still need to find a solution for that. But the jacket was basically declared finished, and it was put in my wardrobe at the bottom of a drawer with a bunch of stuff on top of it, so I can't show it to you, and I don't want to pull it out and have to put everything back in. You're getting mirror explanation instead. Final thoughts. Do I have any? Not really. I don't really have any final thoughts. It's pretty. It does what it needs to do. I guess my only complaint, disappointment, is that it's not like really warm. It's like a mid-season jacket. The problem is that with, you know, global warming, I guess in Belgium there's not really a mid-season anymore. You go from summer to winter pretty much immediately. So I don't know if I'll ever be able to wear it. I hope so. You know, I made it to wear it. So that's it. Bye. Going back.